This is the Ruckus and The Menace Sports Podcast.
Oh no! We suck again!
I'm getting confused. What game are you calling?
I'm calling both games.
It is caught by Kelsey! Touchdown! Kansas City!
Anthony for three. Bang!
How's it going, ladies, gentlemen, and sports fans alike? You're listening to the Ruckus and The Menace podcast, episode number 64. I'm Spenace the Menace.
And I'm Ruckus, always causing a ruckus.
And on this episode of Ruckus and The Menace, we will have our headline. We'll kick it off with opening headlines from our starting lineup. Then we go into our Eastwood segment of the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have a color commentary of even more hot topics, very similar to what we did last week. Another similarity is that Ruckus and I will go into the immaculate grid for our primetime game, but we'll be squaring off, wrapping up with our stud and dud, and we will have episode 64. Ruckus! How we doing?
You know, man, I might sound a little different, and that's because my headset decided to take a fat dump at the worst possible moment. So I ended up upgrading a little bit to a newer headset so that I could actually function with it, because the other one quit wanting to charge. So I don't know if it's just the end of the micro USB like female port, or if it's just a bad battery, who knows. But I tried what I could, and yeah. So I am experimenting with this new one. If anyone cares, it's a Razer Black Shark V2 Pro headset. It's the 2023 version. So far, so good. My mic quality probably sounds a lot better, but I don't know how audio will be as far as like for guests and my co-host here, but it's probably better in all honesty, because I don't know. To me, it sounds okay. Let us know in the comments what you think about the mic quality and audio quality. I think it's fine.
I mean, the biggest thing I know I need to eventually upgrade is a microphone at some point. This microphone does have some age to it, but
yeah,
I just am trying to make do with what I got for now. Save it, working up some money. I might actually put a mic on my. Probably should. That's on the list.
yeah, no worries, homie. I'm thankful that we both have mics that we could actually talk into, because it could be worse.
And we both have stable jobs that we're able to earn money to actually take in a good amount of experience too. So it's not like we're losing out on a lot. It's just, I think we both kind of have different priorities and responsibilities. I mean,
that's for sure.
I mean, it's a little different from the married life side of things. So it's a matter of knowing what money is going into what.
Yeah, it's much different budget-wise and just in general with how the negotiations happen. Anyways, so if you haven't known or haven't been listening to the podcast recently, I will be in Japan for the next couple weeks, so we will not have Ruckus and the Menace sports podcast till August 14th, I believe.
Yeah, because you're coming back
the 12th.
You're coming back the 12th. Okay, so we would have time to plan. All right, yeah, we'd have enough time to get a little bit of a quick brew plan together for the 14th if we so choose. Because I would also be coming back that evening of the 13th from Roanoke. So we're both going to be out of town, or you're going to be coming back from out of town. I'm going to be out of town and back. So
Yep. So
We'll have that.
what I've been doing pretty much is preparing for Japan. I already got a haircut. I'm probably gonna pack a little bit tonight. We'll see. But yeah, definitely a short week for me as far as the work schedule goes. I leave Friday, so it'll be exciting. I'm excited, but a little bit like anxious because of like flight
It
and
is
how
a
that goes.
long plane ride.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the plane ride. I'm more worried about like getting to my connecting flights and stuff like that. But I think I'll be
Because
okay.
where do you have your connectors? Your
It's from I have MCI, which was originally KCI, to Seattle, and then Seattle to Tokyo, and then Tokyo to Osaka. And then after that, it just dominoes back in a sense whenever because it's round trip.
yeah. All right. So you're going from MCI, is that you're doing Kansas City, that's Kansas City, Missouri?
Yep. So it's Missouri Central International. I don't know what
Yep.
the acronym is for that, but it used to be called KCI, but I think they called it MCI because it's Missouri.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, nice. So you're going from Kansas City, Missouri to Seattle.
Yep.
Seattle to Tokyo, and then Tokyo to Osaka.
And then my Tokyo to the United States flight is from Tokyo to Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
So
thought
you're
that
gonna
was
hit-
interesting.
How long are your layovers?
I think my layover from Seattle was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then let's see here, because on my app it says I have a 2 hour and 2.5 hour layover, and then the layover from Tokyo to Osaka is about 2 hours, so not terrible.
Yeah. But the only thing that sucks about certain layovers is that you don't get, depending on how short the layover is, like, you either don't have enough time to make the connector, or you don't have enough, or you end up with so much time that you can explore a certain area of town, and the layovers are just long enough that exploring outside of, like, the airport is not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more so when entering the country. I think the only really real one thing I'm worried about is just figuring out where I need to go. I feel like once I get that, my mind will probably be more at ease. I was just because I've never been out of the country before. Fun fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I was I was fortunate enough to have a couple of things in the Bahamas.
Bahama
so that-
Mamas.
Though the drink was available, I chose not to. So that's not a surprise there. But
All right, Mr. Spenace, what have you been up to?
well, my traveling has been, instead of preparing in the air, my time has been on the ground, as I ended up in Morgantown for work in the middle of the week last week. Kind of really mostly have been just navigating life. I haven't gotten to do a ton of gaming, but if I have, I've done Street Fighter 6 or just playing different things with my wife.
My wife.
Yep. And then if I've gotten to watch anything so far, it's been keeping up with Claim to Fame whenever we get to it. I've been watching Quarterback, and I'm still only halfway through.
Do you like the Kirk Cousins story? I figured you would.
I actually, I will say all three are enjoyable in their own right. But I think that
I might be a little biased, but I like Patrick Mahomes' story and Kirk Cousins. Mariota, I feel like could have been like kind of scratched because he kind of seems like a Debbie Downer for most of the series.
Well, here's the out of the three quarterbacks involved, Mariota was on the worst team. Mariota had probably the most difficult situation. And I think the most impressive thing that was involved was that Mariota also was expecting his first child. So I think just the timing maybe for Mariota might not have been the best. But I don't think you take away from Mahomes or Cousins because of Mariota. Because I think Mariota had really the journey for Mariota is still interesting because what he's going through and of course preparing to expect a child is something that I am hopeful for later on down the line. Like, it's not outside of my realm of possibility.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the things are, but I think I've really enjoyed. I think for me, the enjoyment of the Kirk Cousins side is, of course, the type of quarterback and man that he is, and such of those like little things. Well, not that the Mahomes stuff is not entertaining.
I thought Cousins and Mahomes was the best.
Yeah.
Personally.
And actually, I just saw something on Twitter. Season 2 has been confirmed by Peyton Manning on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, I just don't know who all they're gonna add into it. And apparently, the week that it debuted, Matt Castle reached. Well, I don't know if he quote unquote reached out, but I think he was like adding Netflix or I think maybe even Peyton himself saying, "Hey, if you want perspective from a washed-up quarterback, I'm your guy."
Yeah, Matt Castle does make that kind of funny. But I believe the three that I think I saw on a tweet, and these three make it interesting. Josh Allen.
Yes.
Of which I would say for that top-notch quarterback, I'd have been between Allen or Burrow.
I kind of want Allen and then Hurts and then Herbert.
I wouldn't mind. I think for me, I would love to. I think for me, Burrow is such like a. He's such like a person that you kind of want to hear a little bit more behind him too.
If we do that, so if they do another season, which they're obviously doing,
yeah.
If they add on to it, or if they go to like 3 different quarterbacks per season, honestly, I think it'd be cool if they like switched it. So like, if they part of me wants them to keep Mahomes, but I feel like that's probably not what they're gonna do. But if they don't keep Mahomes, I want Herbert, Allen, and Burrow, and then like have like a dark horse and have that be Tom Brady.
Let's see. I'd have been at Burrow. I think Burrow was on my.
I mean, because what they could also do is instead of having Tom Brady as a dark horse or like someone that's like the villain in a sense or like the old top guy, what if they like did a spin-off of quarterback where it was like the older guys like Peyton and Tom Brady and like
it's not the same concept. It's not the same concept if you bring guys who are retired. Because I don't think you really have anything, or you don't have anything of this like type of scale that you could really go to really make it what quarterback is supposed to be about.
Wait, you couldn't like pull film from like NFL films because aren't they?
You could, you could.
I see where you're going with
But-
that, but yeah.
But I don't see, you're talking the raw authenticity of, because you have the life at home. You have the life at home, which all those segments there. How often is NFL films around these players, even while they're at like a certain home event?
True. And if you did Brady, you wouldn't really see Giselle that much. You would see him and his kids, and maybe Mr. Beast. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, that was the digression of where I was going here. Josh, but I had Burrow. I had Derek Carr as a potential person. And then if I for the ones on the outside, because I know the three that are slated, or at least the ones that they've said. But outside of the three, and I'm not mentioning it, would have been Burrow, Derek Carr, and I would have thought either a Taylor Heineke or maybe not so much now because he's not a starter.
What about a rookie? Because you had a backup for one of them, a veteran that's been in the league for a while, and then you have your primetime candidate that's like the face of the league.
I mean, you had your face of the league. The face of the league, I'd go Burrow. The veteran with Derek Carr. But I mean, the story behind Mariota is that Mariota was kind of that embattled quarterback who found a new destination. Which Carr kind of fits that too. Which then you would probably pair that with maybe like a Tua Tagovailoa or a Baker Mayfield or a Ryan Tannehill.
I mean, something like that probably would work.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Burrow, Allen, and Carr in that lineup.
Yeah. But the other two, other than the Josh Allen that was obviously mentioned, Aaron Rodgers, with kind of that new destination of New York.
You mean ayahuasca?
Huh. You mean with the Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to pull stuff out of Brett Favre's bag of tricks.
If you mean bag of tricks meaning stealing from the state of Pennsylvania, sure.
You mean the state of Mississippi?
Yeah. I forgot which state it was, so I pulled that out of my tricks.
Yeah, but then the third one was the other MetLife quarterback, Danny Dimes. Yeah, so Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, and Aaron Rodgers. The only one I don't like out of that whole set for this type of doc is Daniel Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
He just looks. Is it bad that I feel like he kind of has that look that he's probably like the most boring quarterback?
Dude, he looks like he was like one of those kids that was like, I don't need this. I'll just take over my dad's job whenever I grow up. Like
he looks like he's got a personality that is just like watching paint dry.
Yeah, like frat boy, but like worse in a sense. Like drinks the frat water, but
doesn't necessarily look the frat part.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's where I'm kind of at on him. I think another one that I actually think this one would have been surprisingly entertaining too. Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo.
You mean John Stamos?
Oh my god. Not this
John
again.
Stamos is Jimmy G. Coming to a theater? No.
But other than that and watching quarterback, this weekend in film, in the movies box office, this was supposed to be Barbenheimer weekend. In case you're not catching where I'm going with this past weekend was the opening weekend for Barbie and Oppenheimer. Though both movies, I believe, have also reviewed pretty well. I saw neither of them this past weekend. And I went with the nowhere near as popular Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, which had already been in theaters a week. And the thing I will tell you is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is long. It's almost 3 hours. But I think it's really well told. The story's well told. I feel like they could have taken a few things out and maybe shortened it to about a 220 or 230 and have it still make perfect sense. But you get every single standard element of a Mission Impossible movie in it.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell that Tom Cruise has aged. Sometimes it looks like he's aged well, and then other times it looks like he hasn't. But this man will still go through his own stunts, even in his 60s.
Yep. All right. Are we ready finally for the starting lineup?
Yep. Let's get right to it. And some of the main headlines this week. I'm going to start with baseball. As the crime dog, Fred McGriff, and Scott Rowland have both been inducted into Cooperstown. I think that both of them definitely is something that it's been a long time coming. But out of those two, which do you think was probably the more exciting Hall of Fame vote for you?
Since I didn't know a whole lot about McGriff, probably Scott Rowland, because I remember him being a St. Louis Cardinal and then becoming a Cincinnati Red after being traded, I believe, from the Cardinals to the Reds, or was he signed to the Reds?
I think for me, I gotta go with the crime dog, because I think that it had been for about at least a couple of years that we're like, the crime dog's gotta get in.
And he's a dog.
And Fred McGriff eventually got in. Lionel Messi had his debut in Miami and actually scored a goal in his first match as a member of David Beckham's team down there in South Florida.
Inter Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I saw his game-winning goal thousands of times because it would just not nonstop show up on my feed on social media.
Oh yeah, because and
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying I saw it. It was known.
yeah. Oh, and just the way he has played for the span of almost 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
It's been almost 2 decades of Lionel Messi. And even at the age he's at, he looks like he's still got it.
Doesn't he All right, I'm looking him up.
Like you probably like some of his best years were about 10 years ago, but
Yeah, he's 36 now.
yeah, he's 36 now, but I mean for the better part of 2 decades, he's been probably one of, if not the best player in the world.
That's for sure. I don't know if Cristiano Ronaldo would be on the same playing field or Neymar, but maybe close.
Ronaldo was the one that was right there with him, but I think the two play styles are a little different. And I feel from a lot of people that I think Messi is more of the complete player in the sense that Messi does not have to be right near the goal for a ton of his things to matter because he can do a lot of the creating for others. So I think he is an all-around package of a player. While Cristiano Ronaldo just primarily was good at goal poaching.
Yep, and then you want me
speaking of, well, I was going to also add in, speaking of the international round ball, not basketball in this case, but the international round ball of soccer, the FIFA Women's World Cup has been going on, and the United States picked up a 3-0 victory over Vietnam in Group E, and some other teams that have gotten 3 points. In Group A, Switzerland and New Zealand. In Group B, Australia, with Canada and Nigeria drawing. Japan and Spain in Group C. Denmark and England in Group D. The Netherlands along with the US in Group E. Brazil in Group F, with France and Jamaica drawing at 0-0. Sweden and Italy in Group G. And Germany in Group H. Colombia and South Korea will be playing in a match here within the next few minutes as this World Cup for the women has started in New Zealand. So the time difference is more so practically a good amount across the way. As they're pretty much playing into the next day, and looks like Colombia and South Korea have just started. The next matchup for the United States is with the Netherlands, and that will be on Wednesday at 9 o'clock at night. So primetime TV. And then the U.S. will not play again until the beyond the time that we would be around for the next episode, as they would play Portugal on August 1st at 3 o'clock in the morning here, stateside. So, while we'd be asleep, well, maybe not Ruckus because he's in Japan. Ruckus might watch it.
Maybe if I can't fall asleep from all the excitement. I don't know. We'll see.
Midnight. I mean, it'd probably be about maybe midnight or 11 o'clock. Maybe at worst, like 10 o'clock your time. I don't know what the time difference between New Zealand and Japan would be.
I don't know, but I know one thing. If it's on the TVs at the bars, I'll probably be vaguely watching it. So we'll see.
It wouldn't surprise me.
We'll see.
And then a big MMA card is going on this Saturday with Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje being the main event in the lightweight division of UFC 291, and Jan Blachowicz and Alex Pereira is the light heavyweight co-main event. And I really was trying to avoid a Bruce Buffer voice there.
You mean Bruce Banner?
Shut up. Shut up. That was all you. That one was all you.
It's time.
All right. The digression enough. Eastwood segment time. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And Mike Quality has done that good.
Shut up. Shut up, you. That's an order. Whackety whack whack whack.
Okay.
Anyways.
Which way do we want to go this week? Because I kind of want to save the good for last.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to go through the bad and the downright poopy ugly, and then you can talk about what we've all been waiting for. But here we go. What was bad in sports this week? Let me tell you. The Rays are falling apart. Literally, the Devil Rays are turning into just Rays. They've lost their aggression. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Their aggression towards keeping their first place lead, and they played 4 more games than the O's, but all 4 games differentially are losses, as Baltimore has a 2-game lead in the AL East. Woo woo!
Well, add a little bit of a change out to that as
3 games.
As the Orioles have now played 3 less games, as the Orioles, I believe, played tonight, and they actually got a victory. So it is now. It's now 2.5.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it
because
was 3 games or 2.5.
The Rays were idle. Yeah, the Rays were idle, but the Orioles beat the Phillies. So it's now 3 less games, but in the game that they picked up the differential, it was a win rather than a loss. So the Orioles at 62-38 have a 2.5 game lead over the Phillies. And the Red Sox and Yankees are still tied at 53-47. But that's a digression in and of itself.
But hey, the Orioles, I feel like your prediction was right from a while ago when we were doing our midweek or not midweek, mid-season breakdowns. I think they are getting red hot at the right time. They just need to keep it up. Go ahead.
And the Orioles are doing this with the second lowest payroll in baseball. I mean, I think I had even been speaking about the Orioles youth movement like before the season began. Like, actually, I even think it was like while last season was still going on and they were surging. I think I had mentioned this multiple times that this Orioles thing, they were surging last year, and I was even still saying even back then, the best has yet to come. This is 1990s, mid-90s level Orioles baseball. Sorry, guys. I know that I'm going to speak to a lot of the East Coast here right now. Baltimore baseball is back. And we here on the East Coast, unless we're a fan of the Nationals or some team in New York, mostly around here, baseball has become a very, very exciting time of the year.
The Yankees lose.
You're not sounding enough like Big Papi with it. It's like the Yankees lose.
Well, you know what he was going for, right? He was going for the Yankees announcer guy going, "Duh, the Yankees win," or something like that. But instead, he's like, "The Yankees lose."
Yeah, it's like, and his Y almost sounds like a J. It's like New York Yankees. Oh my.
All right. So the downright ugly this week in sports was a lot of things. A lot of players trying to be above the law, but the law won. Jordan Addison at the beginning of the week looked terrible on the news. Get caught doing 140 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone.
Playing a little too much Sammy Hagar.
And I didn't know if he was doing like a "I can't drive 55" reference, or if he was actually driving because of a dog emergency. Like, I don't know I don't know
But
whether
he's
or not.
claiming it's a dog emergency, and I don't. It's like he didn't describe what the dog emergency was. I don't even know if the cop that pulled him over even confirmed that there was a dog in the vehicle.
Also, I don't know if I believe him 100%. Either way, I thought the worst because I thought it was another
Especially
Henry
because I
Ruggs.
believe that the vehicle that he was caught in was a Lambo.
Yep. Maybe the dog was having like a out of body experience with the amount of G-force from that Lambo.
Well, unless he either that or he could have been rushing on the way home, but it depends
Probably.
on what time he was caught.
Man, if I had to pee that bad, I don't know if I would go 140 miles an hour.
In a 55, no less.
And then joking aside, now we go on to our next couple of guilty people. Chris Claybrooks was arrested this week for a domestic violence issue, and this was the second time he had been arrested in 4 months. And then Perion Winfrey was suspected of robbery and also arrested. I don't know what to say.
I
But
think it was a Broncos guy that had a gambling issue betting on the NFL, so he's now done.
let's
So I
die.
think it's just the NFL players. NFL players just trying to be reckless, live fast, die young.
Bobby, I was high on peyote when I told you if you ain't first, you're last. You could be second, you could be third, you could be fourth. Hell, you could even be fifth. You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. Wait, what? Oh, what? Bobby was Ricky. This was Ricky Bobby. You were trying to go for a Hank Hill for a Ricky Bobby reference. Come on, Ruckus.
I mean, that is in the name, causing a ruckus. Anyways, Mr. Spenace, let's get into your good this week.
Finally. The ownership of the Washington Commanders has changed. Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Hallelujah!
And the league has unanimously approved it.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
The transition period is now beginning for Josh Harris to take over the Washington Commanders.
Did we finally flush the turd in the toilet like normal grown human beings?
Oh, I think we've also added a little salt into the wounds for old Danny Boy, too. As he may have gotten that big $6.5 billion, probably even less after taxes. But beyond that, for all of the other improprieties involved, he was also fined $60 million by the league on the way out. Don't let the doorknob hit you on the way out. And thanks for the $60 million, says the league. And some things that I've been hearing about this are that Magic Johnson, of course, one of the partners in this, has said that that potentially everything is on the table. But the first phase is kind of winning the fan base back. Get the fan base back, get the fan base excited, and Lord willing, that FedEx Field will have more Commanders fans than fans of the other team in the stadium.
I mean, if it fits, it ships.
Trying to remember, was that UPS?
I think that was FedEx.
Was that a UPS? It was one of the two. It was one of the two.
I thought it was FedEx.
I think it was one of the two, but I think that the hype behind this owner and the fan base and kind of how much respect he wants to bring back and changing
it was
the culture.
USPS.
Oh, it actually, wow. It was wow. I completely forgot that was USPS.
I just literally looked up if it fits at chips, and then the first thing that came up was USPS. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. But I am, as a Commanders fan, I am overall excited about this. I think that the fan base has had something to celebrate and be happy about. And really have a true shade of optimism about what's to come. But I know that this season is going to involve a good amount of hurdles along the way in assessing some of the process. And just like a Josh Harris team before that he owns, we're going to have to trust it. We're going to have to trust the process.
Better process than whatever Schneider had.
Oh, I'm hoping that this more so is kind of an ascension, kind of like the Sixers, in kind of that trusting that process. Minus now the Joel Embiid is not trusting it. But that's a digression for another time. Now we go to the color commentary.
Oh, you're not going for the Immaculate Grid first?
Oh, we're not doing... Oh, that's prime time. Prime time's going to be here a little later.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So we are now in color commentary. And I will let you unveil the theme, and I'll let you go ahead and pick one.
All right, so our color commentary this week is called Hot Topics, and no, it's not like the store in the mall. You know that store.
Yeah.
So for my topic that I want to start off with is Madden 24 rankings, especially the 99 club rankings on launch day, as Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Aaron Donald, and is it Justin Jefferson?
It's Justin Jefferson.
And then Zach Martin also are all on the 99 club. Do we feel that some players have been rated too high or too low for the launch of the game?
I think there are players who entirely higher than I think that they should be. I think there are players who are rated low. I think some of the notable ones that I would love to see eventually work their way up. I'd love to see Jahan Dotson get into the 80s as a Commanders fan. I do want to look at the Chargers and kind of see. They got Derwin James at a 95, Joey Bosa at a 91, and Austin Eckler at an 89. Justin Herbert's at an 87. So that's kind of, for the Chargers, that doesn't look bad. Most of them, they kind of got looking all right. I mean, Kirk Cousins at an 84. I think that's low. I thought he'd be along the lines of like an 86 or an 87. They got TJ Hawkinson at a 90. But I think everybody that they got around that 90 to 90 to 99, most of them are generally right. The players who are close, I think, will very easily get there at some point. Maybe with a slight exception to Tyreek Hill. I think Fred Warner definitely pushes into that 99 type of range. I mean, everybody who's close, I think, could eventually get there. And I think what's impressive is that even Sauce Gardner, in his second year, went straight up to a 93.
He's got the magic sauce, I guess. I don't know.
But I do think Stephon Gilmore is ranked too high.
Yeah, especially at his age.
Oh, yeah, his age, definitely.
Who else would you say is
Too high?
too high or too low? Like, who do you think you would rather have at corner versus Stephon Gilmore in that ranking scenario?
I'd have loved to have seen Kendall Fuller get a little higher, but I think that him being at an 87 is actually about right. I just think that Stephon Gilmore should be lower overall. I don't know if you'd move anybody up higher. Maybe because I think that you've really got, but I think these are just launch things. Like over time, like as the season unfolds, you'd see that. I even think Chase Young at 87 is too high.
He didn't really play much.
Yeah, with all the injuries, yeah, Chase Young at 87, no way. No way. Drop him down into the low 80s. Make him have to earn that high overall. I mean, he's good, but he hasn't really shown that he's that good. Montez Sweat should be at a higher overall than him.
How the hell do you get a last name of Sweat? Riddle me that.
Yeah, because Montez Sweat is an 82 overall, and Chase Young is an 85. Those two need to be swapped. Deron Payne got a Pro Bowl last year. He needs to be buffed. Jeremy Reeves, I think, as an all-pro, even though he was a gunner, having him below a 70 overall is an injustice. Especially as a special teams gunner. But there's a lot of things that I think we could really see change in this setup. And I'm kind of excited to see how the football season unfolds and see where these Madden ratings adjust. But I don't know if I'll pick up Madden not because, more so because of just the money involved that ends up coming into that. But also, Maximum Football is going to be coming out free to play in the fall. And I really want to see what that's all about.
I'll probably check that out too.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you see me possibly on the Twitch or something along those lines, creating a series based on what Maximum Football is supposed to bring to the table. A good college, like a college, like a college dynasty suite.
All right. Do we want to talk about?
Yeah, let's stick the football. Let's stick the football for this one here, and I'm gonna go with this one. Star NFL running backs have conferenced together on a Zoom call. Though nothing was thought of solution-wise, The real question I have here is what truly is the state of the running back position in the NFL from a football and a financial perspective? Yes, this is kind of a little twofold. Has style of play gone away from the superstar running back? Especially now, as a good amount of these big name running backs who are in their mid to late 20s aren't getting paid or are getting released, and really, even also the franchise tag has kind of, in their opinion, underpaid them.
I feel like it depends on the talent, but also just the pay, like you're saying. Like, when it comes to the Chiefs, they had a star running back a while back in Jamal Charles. And then that went from that to eventually Spencer Ware and then Damian Williams. And then Damian Williams was like one of like the stars to emerge, and then he sat out during COVID, and then came back and signed with the Bears, and then at that point for the Chiefs you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darrell Williams, and Darrell Williams was a big pivotal piece of the 2020 season, I believe. Mostly he was also, I believe he was also part of the Chiefs Super Bowl run and Super Bowl 54. And he was looking for big money and ended up going to the Cardinals and then not succeeding very well after that. And you don't really hear much from him, but I digress. In their way of doing it, it's more of the how much use can we get out of a guy for the money versus let's pay a guy $20 million a year or $30 million a year just to run the ball. You don't see that a lot anymore, and I don't know if you even really saw that much back in the day either. Like, did you see Adrian Peterson or LaDainian Tomlinson get a huge payday?
I believe the paydays were. I believe the position was also different back then. Alright. I'm actually going to be double checking.
And of course, the money is going to be a lot less because back in the day, players weren't really getting paid $20 million a year like they are now. It was probably more along the lines of like $1 million to $2 million.
Yeah, but kind of want to see like some of his other pieces here, because, well, LaDainian Tomlinson did have 1 year where he was at $16 million.
What was that year?
2004.
Okay. And then what was the highest paid running back around that time? Was it... Part of me wonders how much the human Dante Hall contract. Let's see here.
Dante Hall was a wide receiver.
The human joystick?
Yeah, he was a wide receiver.
All right. I digress on that one. For some reason I thought he was a running back.
Yeah, but the highest paid running back in 2004 was Clinton Portis.
Okay, and then
and he had an 8-year deal worth $50.5 million.
So that would work out to about $5 to $6 million a year, depending.
Yeah, and Portis at the time was 22.
Interesting. Because like I was saying, like even Derrick Henry's really not getting paid like a huge amount of money. He got franchise tagged when they gave Tannehill the money instead, and Tannehill hasn't really done much but die on a hill. So like I think it also just comes down to like management too, because like yeah, you could pay a player a lot of money and it either doesn't pan out or they go for a long amount of yards. Emmett Smith. Emmett Smith.
Derrick Henry currently is a $16 million cap hit. His base salary was at 10.5.
Emmett Smith's was a 7-year 40-some mil back in the day.
Yeah, so I mean,
and a $10 million signing bonus. Sorry.
Yeah, are these backs getting paid more? Yes. But apparently somebody I think Des Bryant was looking and saying that there was a graphic where it said the average running back salary was only about $1.5 million, while the kickers were over $2 million. And he's like, somebody explain this.
Currently, Christian McCaffrey is getting paid $64 million.
Yeah. But here's where we're at. And I saw something earlier today about this, that Isaiah Pacheco, the current back of the Chiefs, could get screwed by the system because of the pick he had. He was a seventh round. Because he was a 7th round pick. Can't hold out during his 4th year. The franchise, he'd be just a franchise tag and done because he's 24. By the time he'd get franchise tagged, he's about 27, 28. And by the time he would have to hit that deal, he's too old. The shelf life of the running back goes away.
It also has to deal with luck, too, on his side, because you don't know if a year from now, if he busts a leg and then just doesn't play anymore, or if he's just not himself.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is that you don't run into very many anomaly running backs who rush as well as they do over the age of 30.
Yeah.
John Riggins is an example. Adrian Peterson is an example of running backs who rushed well into their 30s.
Jerick McKinnon's a good example. He's 31.
Well, Jerick McKinnon, I think the biggest thing that helped him is that he also catches passes out of the backfield, which I think in this passing league that the NFL has become, running backs now have to do that.
He's also kind of at the same time preserved himself a little bit by
not being a feature back early in his career.
Not even that. He has had injury after injury that's kind of given himself like a derailment on his career, but it also gave him a little preservation because he wasn't played much until now.
Yeah.
By the way, Isaiah Pacheco's 23, but I see what you mean by he'll be 24 at the start of the season, right? Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah, that's what we were getting at.
Okay. Because currently his base salary is not even $1 million in 2022. In 2023, he's gonna make $870,000 with a bonus of $19,000. So at he'll be age 23 in 2023. 2024, he'll be age 24. 2025, he'll be age 25, according to OTC trending pages for running backs. That might be wrong, though, but we'll see. Anyways, I think it depends on on management. But also, it doesn't look good for the rest of the league that the running backs aren't getting paid as much as everybody else, just due to the fact that they're more sustained to more injuries rather than the QBs. Like, you could argue that a quarterback could get injured about the same way as a running back as far as the legs, but the running back is literally in the name, and if they bust a ACL or something, then they're out.
Yep.
Freaking Naheem Hines
Yeah, he just had his career get derailed.
Like, gone. You had Rashad Penny leave like the second or third week in the season last season for the Seahawks. You had and even if they weren't injured, if you have like an off year like Jonathan Taylor did at the beginning,
Yeah,
like that could be
your
derailed.
your stock goes down. Your stock goes down.
And then it's just the next man up. And
They're
it
so
seems
aggressive.
more
Like,
rapid with the running backs rather than the quarterbacks.
yeah. Yeah, you're not seeing like your heavily featured backs like Peyton, Walter Payton, Earl Campbell, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Edgerrin James, LaDainian Tomlinson type players as much anymore. And I think these guys right now are just stuck in a time where an era has gone by.
I think they
Derrick
also just keep crapping out talent left and right too. Like there's
so much talent in the running back position that it's almost like these running backs that are coming and entering college are going to have to lean out and become wide receivers if they're going to really do much of anything at all.
yeah.
And not everybody can do that because the builds are not the same. Now that we kind of shift from that, let's shift on to basketball. As for the last 5 seasons, the NBA has had a new champion be crowned, including this past season with the Denver Nuggets getting their first championship in franchise history. And a new collective bargaining agreement that spans throughout the rest of the decade has been credited as a reasoning for this happening. Has the parity that has become so widespread throughout the NBA lately been good or bad for the NBA?
Not gonna lie, it's based. Most of it seems like it's based on luck, anyways. But as far as like, I think it's good for the league that smaller market teams are getting a better chance at winning in the finals, especially like if you could do it the right way with the talent that you have. Like obviously we saw what happened in the NBA finals in early June where Nikola Jokic and his homie
Jamal Murray.
Yeah, Jamal Murray both shocked the Warriors and the Lakers in order to get to face the Heat in the finals and shocked the world and beat the Heat in the finals. So like it kind of reminds me of like that time when the Raptors beat the Warriors in the finals a few years back before COVID.
That was because of a trade. That was because of a trade involving Kawhi Leonard going on to ironically enough, a smaller market team. I mean, but I think Toronto generally is a bigger market, but it's a smaller market team in a sense.
Yeah, and like it wasn't just him though that contributed. It was Marc Gasol. It was
Serge Ibaka, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry,
Pedro Siakam or Pal Siakam.
Pascal Siakam,
Yeah.
Spicy P,
and many other contributors, and now most of them are gone. And Fred VanVleet is a good example of that. He went to the Rockets in free agency for a huge sum of money. I think in general it's good. Who knows what could happen in the future, like next season, but I think it's still good for the league to have chances for other teams to get chances, but also they still have to play by the rules and do the right business decisions and do the right roster moves in order to make that team compete.
Yeah, it's a combination collective bargaining agreement, as it allows the opportunity for situations like this to be created. It's a combination of good favor, of good fortune and good luck, or in a sense that you've got some breaks kind of have to go your way. But I also feel that right now, based on this, I mean, the NFL shows a little bit of parity, but it's not as prevalent as it is in the NBA or in the sport where I think this is really the best thing, Major League Baseball, where payroll for the small market teams doesn't necessarily matter as much. Where payroll does not necessarily mean World Series.
Right.
You can't buy your way into a World Series. You got to play your way in. And I think that though this parity has shown now that and has given the smaller market teams more buying power, but then you would think that teams like Milwaukee, who have had timely free agency deals, but then also have had great superstar overseas talent that they can home grow, come together. Miami doing the best with really undrafted players that they kind of pick up, or second round picks, or kind of these no-name players, turning a whole bunch of nothing into something. I mean, you see teams do different things. And and I think this collective bargaining agreement allows a more openness in terms of how you want to do this. Do you want to rely on guard play? Do you want to rely on big men in the post? Do you want shooting? Do you want all around scoring? How do you best build the team to kind of win yourself a championship? And I think these in the NBA's parity things in its collective bargaining agreement have more so just given every single team the resources to be able to do well and the opportunity. The ones that have actually done so and succeeded are the ones that have done the best at taking advantage of it. Simple as that.
Yep.
And now we go on to the primetime game, where last week Ruckus and I collaborated on an Immaculate Grid. This time, in terms of the baseball Immaculate Grid, we're going head to head.
That's for sure.
Ruckus and I will play our Immaculate Grids on the baseball side and see who can get the best rarity score that we possibly can based on stuff we know.
All right.
Lowest score is going. So, the three teams across the top in this Immaculate Grid are the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, and Hall of Famers in Cooperstown. On the other end, you have the New York Yankees, the Seattle Mariners, and 300 saves in their career pitching. Now remember, for a career stat, the player who reached that career stat simply had to play for that team at any point. So in short, that 300 save thing, as long as that player spent some sort of point in his career as a member of the Tampa Bay Rays, it counts.
All right, we ready to go?
Yep. Which one are you starting with?
Red Sox, Yankees,
Okay.
and I'm going Johnny Damon.
So you're going to take Johnny Damon. How high did it get you?
29%.
I am going to go Red Sox Yankees as well. And I'm taking Jacoby Ellsbury. And I ended up with 13%.
I'm gonna go Adrian Beltre with the Mariners and Red Sox.
I don't think Beltre was a member of Boston. I don't think we ever had him.
Okay then. I'm not going to guess that then. James Paxton.
Oh, wait. I take that back.
So we did have him.
Yeah, did you already lock in Paxton?
No. All right, that was 13%.
What, for Paxton or Beltre?
Beltre.
Right. Red Sox, 300 saves in the career. I'm going to take Boston Red Sox 300 save career. Kenley Jansen. 21%.
Is this where I also put that in?
No. No, we're doing our own individual.
Oh, so we're just doing ours at one at a time. Okay. So,
Yeah.
I feel like Jonathan Papelbon would be a 300 plus save career pitching guy for the Red Sox.
I'll let you guess it.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna go Kenley Jansen as well, just to be on the safe side. All right. So now we have the Devil Rays, the Mariners,
Oh
and
wait.
then
Oh wait. You've already gotten your third guess, right?
yep.
Just trying to think of where I want to go now. This. I think I'm gonna go Mariners Hall of Famer, Edgar Martinez. And I ended up with 26%.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go Brett Boone for Mariners Hall of Famer. Let's see if he shows up. Or maybe I need to spell it right. Yep. That was not it.
Oh!
I should have gone Ken Griffey. So I'll do that. Ken Griffey Jr.
Wait. How are you getting multiple guesses?
I
How many
used
guess-
another guess.
How many
That's all
guesses? No, how many guesses do you have left?
4.
Oh, then I still have all 6 of mine. Figuring out where I'm gonna go. Red Sox Mariners. James Paxton makes sense here. I'm trying to think if there's another player that I think I could go with.
For what?
Sox, Mariners. But I think I'm going to go James Paxton. Yeah, 37% on that.
I think I'm gonna go Sergio Romo for Tampa Bay and Seattle. Okay, I have 3 guesses left. That was a 1%er for the Tampa Bay Seattle.
Oh, nice. Yankee Hall of Famer. I don't remember here. Oh, wow. I actually got a really good one there. I went with Randy Johnson for Yankees Hall of Famer. 2%.
Dang. Trying to figure out who I want for the Rays and the Yankees pick. I could go the easy route and do Yankees Hall of Famer, Derek Jeter. I think I'm gonna do that. Yep. All right, now I have 2 guesses left.
I'm trying to think of what all I got left I can really go with. I'm just trying to remember if certain players have been inducted yet. Is the problem.
Um,
Yeah, I'm taking Trevor Hoffman for 300 save Hall of Famer.
as far as Yankee and Ray, let's see here.
I'm sure there's.
I could have had Johnny Damon for this one if I really wanted to. Did Coco Crisp ever play for the Yankees?
I can't remember if Coco Crisp did or not. Oh, now I realize that. Now I just got to figure out where it would be a better place for me to put him.
Um,
I see two options.
David Price never played for the Yankees. Um,
Yeah, I think the couple of names I was looking at potentially. I think I actually was looking at like possibly like a Quentin McCracken. I was between a Quentin McCracken or I knew Tino was a Yankee and I knew Tino was a Mariner, but I wasn't too sure Tino Martinez was a Ray.
This one, for some reason, is taking me forever to figure out.
Yeah, I'm putting Tino Martinez in Yankees Ray or no Mariners Rays. And that got me 5%.
Okay.
Oh wow.
John Figgins played for the Yankees, didn't he? In the Rays?
I don't think he did. But I think I was going to go with the one thing I was possibly looking at there. And I can't believe I'm actually going to say this. I think I'm actually going to go Wade Boggs. I'm going to go with Chicken Man.
For the Rays and Yankees?
Rays, Yankees, yep, 33%. Now, who all? Alright.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I really want to go Wade Boggs just yet.
Well, there's plenty of other options. He's
Did Rocco Baldelli play for the Yankees?
I know Rocco was a Red Sox for a bit.
Crap.
And I'm going to say my last guess is Fernando Rodney.
That's a good assumption.
Yeah, how many guesses you got left?
2. I kind of want to do Mariano Rivera for the Hall of Fame 300 plus career saves. And then my last guess, I'm going to do New York, Tampa Bay, but I don't necessarily want to go Wade Boggs. Didn't Mark Teixeira play for the Rays?
No. Oh wow. The whole bottom third was hard.
Why is this taking me forever? Screw it. I'm going Sean Figgins.
Sean Figgins was never a Yankee.
Um Can I get another guess for whatever, or another thought of what the Yankees and Rays could have been player?
Wait, how many guesses you have left? One?
One. I was thinking Carlos Pena could have been a Yankee, but I doubt it. God damn it. I don't know. As much as I hate wanting to do this, ooh.
What?
I'll do Wade Boggs because screw it, why not? Okay, so
Where'd you finish?
I finished at 311 or 30. Yeah, 311, 311.
I win. 228.
So the 300 plus career save thing could have been Craig Kimbrell. Mike
Wait, for what?
Zunino for
Oh,
Boston.
oh, here was the 300 save Hall of Famers. You had Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman, Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley, Raleigh Fingers, Goose Gossage, and Bruce Sutter. Those were the only 7 answers for that. Your 6 answers for the Seattle Mariners Hall of Famer, you had Goose Gossage, Ken Griffey Jr., Ricky Henderson, Randy Johnson, Edgar Martinez, and Gaylord Perry. There were only 4 answers for Rays pitchers with 300 saves. There were only 4 answers.
That's crazy. All right. Um
And I put Fernando Rodney that had 67%. There were 9 answers for Red Sox 300 saves. The ones that gave the people the most trouble, Mariners, Rays, and Rays 300 saves.
I could see that. For me, the most trouble it gave me was the Yankees and the Rays, obviously. What other candidates could it have been?
Okay, so that one you had 65 answers. I mean, we both took Wade Boggs. Jose Canseco. Johnny Damon. Nathan Eovaldi. Corey Kluber. Hideki Matsui.
I was thinking maybe Hideki, but I didn't think he was a Ray. Was he a Ray before he became a Yankee?
After. Tino Martinez. That's why I was considering it. Rob Refsnyder. Ray Sanchez. Randy Wynn. Kirby Yates.
Yates wasn't a Yankee.
Kirby Yates indeed was. 2016. Didn't appear much. Didn't appear much as a Ray either. But you have Rich Hill. Well, you had Rich Hill, Russ Springer, Rafael Soriano, Chaz Rowe, Kyle Farnsworth, Joe Borowski. Yeah, so there was about 65 answers that you could have had for that.
Interesting.
Yep. But I think the 2 answers that really helped me were Randy Johnson and Tino Martinez. And how many did you end up with? 7?
I believe so, because I missed one.
Or that would have been 8. Unless you blew 2 of your guesses.
Yeah, I had 8. My bad.
You had 8. I ended up with 9, so I ended up with all 9, but my Fernando Rodney one would have had me hurting. Yep. But I think we definitely could do that again.
Oh, for sure.
All right, I'll let you go ahead and kick it off with your stud and dud.
All right, so my stud for this week goes to Camilo Doval for being the first closer to 30 saves this season. And then my dud starts with the first day of training camp as Kadarius Toney tweaked his ankle on the first day of camp following his 5th punt reception.
So, all right. So I'm going to go backwards here. I'm going to start with my dud. And all of mine are from the world of not your main sports. Formula One driver Lando Norris smashing Max Verstappen's Hungary GP trophy while trying to open a bottle of champagne in celebration. Verstappen was not happy about that. But then my studs go to X Games California, which I talked about in saying that it was happening this past weekend, last week. My honorable mention was Moto X rider David Ronaldo for landing his version of the Corolla, a body varial move created by Chuck Carruthers in 2004 to win Best Trick Gold. Ronaldo ultimately won gold for his version that kind of had a segment where he was completely away from the bike. What made this even better? One of the judges for the event was Chuck Carruthers himself. But then my other main stud for this week was a 14-year-old Brazilian skateboarder named Guy Curie, who had an incredible X Games California. He landed a 900 that even impressed Tony Hawk, and also stunned another set of announcers by also landing a Judo 900, which basically is a 900 that also involves a particular grab to go along with the rotation. So, and these kids are doing this now at 14. Tony Hawk, when he landed his 900 in 1999, I believe he was in his 20s. So kids now are getting stronger and doing different things that when we were younger and trying to see that, like, the stuff that Tony Hawk was doing was previously we thought impossible. Now the younger breed is landing 900s like they're nothing and going for even more. So sports evolves over time. That's exactly what it is. They're getting faster, they're getting stronger, they're getting bigger, they're getting better. And there comes a point in time where, yes, the student does indeed surpass the teacher. Go ahead and take us out, Ruckus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Ruckus and The Menace Sports Podcast. I am Ruckus.
And I'm Spenace the Menace.
And thank you for listening to episode number 64 of the Sports Podcast. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you liked it. Make sure to comment on the video, letting us know what you thought was great about the episode, and or any other ideas you have, or just in general, tell us how we're doing, and make sure to tell your friends about this podcast, and also stay awesome. And then one other thing, we are going to be gone for 2 weeks, so if you're wondering where the hell we've been, I was in Japan, and Spanish is doing his thing.
Yep. Deuce. Have a good one, y'all.
See ya.